in her prime, you were at
Ratsy, Santa
Maryland.
Fe, Chipotle. I got introduced to Chipotle when I was in college. There was a Boston Market. There was all types of stuff way before I got to Cluck U, but I did love Cluck U Pac.
So Cluck U Pac, though, you never encountered in person, or you did because you never went to Cluck U?
So Cluck U Pac would go on campus and go to, like, the first couple of days of classes, people are like auditing classes, trying to figure out where they're going to go. And he would come to campus, not be enrolled, walk in and sit in on the first couple of classes. Like, he was like a local dude. Like, we all knew Cluck U Pac. He'd be around looking like Tupac, serving chicken.
He's like, wait a minute. I love the idea that someone who has no idea what the legend of Cluck U Pac is, which may involve the entirety of our audience right now, walks into a Maryland lecture hall and is like, guys, I know this is intro to bio, but why is Tupac also here?
Ask questions. We all knew he was Cluck U Pac, and he would come in and sit in the back of the classes and listen for the first couple of weeks, and then go back to Cluck U. And his rap name was Lee Majors. But we all called him Cluck U Pac. And he leaned into
it. For 2 weeks. 2 weeks every semester, he was like, I'm going to go to school. And then he was like, actually, no, I can't. back to Cluck U for me. I can't. I'm done.
I mean, it checks out.
Yeah, Cluck U Pac. Checks out. You think I made this up?
Mm-hmm. Nah, it looks... Dude, I mean, all of which is to say that of all of the people who should have been mad that their manager did not get a call about the Super Bowl halftime show, you roll Cluck U Pac out there without any explanation, and for like a good 5 to 10 minutes, people are actually like Googling. Like
most people, except for the people who went to College Park from 01 to 05, all of us were like, Lee Majors, Cluck U Pac. I ain't seen you in years. Then the rest of you guys are like, is that Tupac? Like, no, that's Cluck U Pac.
You know what the problem was? It was a school night. He couldn't go. He has to get up and go to class tomorrow.
I mean, the best years in Maryland sports history was when Cluck U Pac was roaming Route 1. Like, we had a basketball championship, ACC championship for football, and then I don't know what happened to Cluck U Pac, but we ain't good no more.
Damn. Did he? Last Cluck U Pac question. Well, it's not gonna be the last one. Let's be real. Next Cluck U Pac question.
Yes.
How did he rap like Tupac?
Yes.
Well, I mean, he wasn't as good as Tupac, but I mean, he was also a rapper. Like, I don't know what his real name was, but I know his rap name was Lee Majors. Mm-hmm. And we all just kind of dubbed him Cluck U Pac, and then he kind of like accepted. I remember when people were sharing his music video, he like leaned into it where he would have on his Cluck U outfit, sweeping up, rapping about the struggle, looking like Tupac. It was amazing. I was a fan.
Know what? Only God can judge this delicious chicken.
So I was hoping for some sort of thug life wordplay, but I'm fine with that one.
So you're on Kazaa trading Cluck U Pac videos, and like, were you like a purist? You're like, no, that's Lee Majors. Don't call him Cluck U Pac. Or like, did you just go straight and you're like, no, that's Cluck U Pac?
Nah, it was Cluck U Pac. You lean in on the Cluck U Pac. If I say that's Lee Majors, people are like, who? $6 million man?
What's the point of Lee Majors? Like, that's just like an unnecessary aside in this man's path from whatever his real name is to Cluck U Pac.
Exactly, clearly. But I mean, I'm sure most artists, a lot of rappers have names that they try out at first until they land on the one that they like. Cluck U Pac, he needed us to find it for him. He was walking around looking like Tupac. Oh, you probably want to talk about the Super Bowl, huh? Is that what
Alabaster, what do you want? We're in the middle of something.
Yeah, I was just going to say, since all eyes are on us, should we talk about the Super Bowl?
All right, football.
Tweet out the link, too.
I thought we were.
Sorry. All eyes are on Cluck.
So point. That is Dominique Foxworth. That is Bill Barnwell, two of the brightest minds in all of football analysis. Hi, I'm also here. Alabaster, what should we do?
We're going to start with the Rams, the winning team of football's biggest game. And our question is, how will you remember this Rams team and how it was built?
It's hard for me to divorce like the building of this Rams team from the like rapid, alleged, reported, rumored disassembling of this Rams team, which happened like before the game started. Has that happened before? Just like, oh, by the way, while we're all here in front of the television, all of America, Sean McVay and Aaron Donald, Andrew Whitworth, the last one of which we we're familiar with. But Aaron Donald and Sean McVay might retire after this. Eric Weddle signed off the street to come in, win a Super Bowl, and also retire. But it's just wild to me. I just don't. That is so at the top of my brain when it comes to like what the Rams have done and why it may explain how they went all in the way that they did.
Bill, make it make sense.
Make it make sense. Football's tough, man. And like, this is a team that has been through a lot to get to this point. Like Sean McVay, there's been rumors for years that Sean McVay might be considering leaving the NFL. I'm not sure that actually changed all that much versus, what we might have seen a month ago or a year ago. Like, I think that's always been kind of a rumor, and it hasn't really, like, I don't think the severity or the likelihood of him being gone has changed all that dramatically. The Aaron Donald one, though, like, there was nothing about Aaron Donald retiring before about 5:30, where Rodney Harrison, who, God bless Rodney Harrison, not always the most reliable source when it comes to just about anything, was like, oh yeah, Aaron Donald's retiring. And you could see Jack Collinsworth like almost passed out on screen. Like, he had no idea this was going to happen seemingly. So I can see it. Like, we've seen other players retire in this age bracket. Aaron Donald has accomplished everything you can possibly accomplish now that he's won a Super Bowl. It was like one of those things that had not occurred to me as even a possibility before that point, though.
He's only played 8 seasons, which is not very many for someone who's as good as he is, but he did not refute it. Like, if someone comes up to an all-time great player who's only played 8 seasons, does not have an injury history, they're like, so you're retiring? And he says, well, I just want to enjoy this moment. Like, most of the time in that situation, you're like, what? Who said, huh? So, like, it gave credence to that. And I would say, I mean, the Sean McVay retirement, so strategic. Like, win a Super Bowl, go into the booth and make more money, only to be the most coveted coach. Like, if you can manage to do that, and then when you come back, not send racist emails, masterful, well played. You out Gruden the Gruden to manage to not send racist emails. Like, that's how you do
Your
it.
John Gruden impression was different in just the most important way.
I mean, up until like 2 years ago, people were still trying to get Bill Cowher. And like, there's something about winning a Super Bowl and then going and being like coherent on TV for another year that like raises the way that people.
Can we talk about this? Why is this? Because the idea that TV adds all of this luster to you, even though you know who you are, and we all did, it's like bizarre to me.
I don't understand this. And I've told you this before in private, Pablo, that I went to Harvard Business School, and I thought when I got out that I would be like,
got out.
Yeah, when I got my freedom papers, that it would be like the most valuable thing ever. And it was extremely valuable. It opened lots of doors. Like, I skipped to the front of like professional lines because of it, but nothing is more valuable than being on TV regularly. Like, I get more investment opportunities, get more job offers. I get more like everything.
I get more respect from my family.
Of course. Like, all of that is
sad.
Is so much more impressive in football coaches. We have football coaches to thank for it. Like, our last president, like, the main reason why he became president was because we were used to seeing his face and seeing him seem semi-coherent on television. Like, that is hugely valuable.
Yep. We like the cut of his televised jib, it turns out, Bill.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the owner hiring process for coaches, I don't know if you heard about this, Dominique, not always all that effective or smart. And so I think just being conspicuous in front of a camera for several years, it's like, oh yeah, that guy used to be good, we should hire him. It's like it's like your uncle who only watches football at Thanksgiving and at the Super Bowl. When you see a player he remembers from 15 years ago, he's like, oh yeah, that guy used to be good. I should see him more. That's exactly what the coach and GM hiring process is like.
It's like when you buy, if you're like a movie studio, the reason you buy billboards, how quaint, along like Sunset Boulevard, is that like, a lot of like lazy voters in the Academy Awards are like going to be driving on that street. It's just sort of like, you guys, I've heard that you lazy billionaires love watching television. So here I am in a nice 3-piece suit, sounding like I know what I'm doing.
I watched Nightmare Alley last night too after the game. Pretty good movie. I enjoyed it. Yeah.
4 stars?
You watched stuff after the game?
Well, I finished it. I started it 2 days ago, because I'm an old human. And then I finally finished it. I had like 45 minutes left after the game, and I was like, this will be a good cool down. Not quite a cool down. The end of that movie,
No.
bananas.
Yeah,
But anyway.
I cooled down with Euphoria because I'm an old pervert, and I do it to myself every Sunday for the last 7 Sundays. But back to the thing that Alabaster is desperately trying to get us to talk about.
He didn't even get to putting his interject. Like I was pushing for a tangent.
I gave up.
I
gave up, man.
I know
I was like, they're gonna if I push.
Yeah,
you'll go more off the rails. So
you know me so well. I love you, Alabaster.
He's coaching us, Dominique. He's coaching.
He is. Good work. Aaron Donald, guys, should have been the MVP.
Can I point out something about Aaron Donald? Everything about the Rams and about how this team has been built is, trade your picks away. First round picks are useless. The guy.
I love this voice.
The guy, thank you. This is my Rams GM character. I'm going to be on TV in 3 years doing this voice on television. The best part about this is that the guy who won the game for the Los Angeles Rams is a first round pick they inherited from the former regime. Now, granted, if there's any lesson to be learned about how to pull things off in 2022, it's to already think great and pretend that was your doing the entire time. Like that first round philosophy, yeah, there's some benefits to it. I can see some merit to it. But when your best player is a dude who you picked in the middle of the first round, like 8 years ago or 9 years ago, that probably tells you that maybe there's kind of value in those first round picks.
And you happen to also have the best player of all time at his position. Like that really helps. Yeah. If that's a coaching strategy, I would sign up for that one.
Johnny Hekker. So I understand Johnny Hekker. I think a mid-round pick.
What a leg.
Drop the hold. Heartbreaking.
Stock your defense with future Hall of Famers. It works, guys.
So all of which is to say, and those are all that's unbelievably that's correct. All fair points. What do we make of Sean McVay after watching how he coached in this game?
Sean McVay is both the best coach ever and the worst coach ever. Like he really stunk it up this year in the playoffs. But when
he's the Fast and Furious of coaches.
I mean, when you look at his entire resume, you're like, that's pretty impressive. Like when you take a step back and you look at it, you're like, man, 2 Super Bowls in 3 years? 2 different quarterbacks, 1 win.
Yeah.
You're only 36. But then you go down into the decision by decision basis in this playoffs alone, and you're like, meh.
Yeah, it's really like seeing like someone copy a master painting. Like you look back at the front, you're like, wow, this is great. And then you get close up the image and you see like they mixed 4 colors of paint they shouldn't have mixed, or you look right at the spot, or they signed the author's name in the wrong way. Like when you get to the little stuff.
Time out. Bill, clearly not an art critic.
All I gathered from Bill's metaphor is that either he knows
signed the wrong author's name. It's not a book.
Dominique, my takeaway from Bill's analogy there is that he is either, like Sean McVay, the best art critic ever or the worst.
Yep. Both.
We got to take Bill's analysis from a distance also. Like, I get the gist of what you're saying. I'm sorry for cutting you off.
Exactly.
Let me scoot back and take it all in. That's beautiful. What a masterpiece.
So what color did Sean McVay select, Bill, when he was running the ball relentlessly into just yellow? A wall? Yeah.
Lemon booty yellow, or poop down your leg brown. Those were the colors.
Yep.
There was
diarrhea chartreuse.
Diarrhea chartreuse. What a mess. I mean, just like there's very few things on the internet that get everyone together at the same time. And everyone, offensive linemen, analytics nerds, X's and O's dudes, everyone was like, Sean, stop running the football. It's killing your team. You're going to lose the Super Bowl because you had to hand the ball to Cam Akers 19 times or whatever. And he almost lost it. Like, it took Cooper Kupp hitting a jet sweep to get that offense going. It was incredible to see.
So I felt bad in the moment being critical of the Sean McVay, the Cooper Kupp pass. Because at that time, I was like, am I just being like a like reacting to the result. And then I thought about it and said, is there a worse time to run that play than 3rd and 5? Because the point of that is you want people to believe that this is a running play and you want them to be in a run-stopping defense. Like, that's the point. It's 3rd and 5. Like, I don't know the numbers on it, but it's probably above 75% passing down. Particularly for them, it's probably 80% passing down. Why in the hell would you run that there? Like, I appreciate the Cooper Kupp 4th and 1 jet sweep. Like, okay, attack the edge, get your best player the ball. You know they're going to be narrowed down. That seems like a reasonable play that probably would have got criticized had it not worked, but I would have defended it. Sure. Like, that's a good play. But 3rd and 5, you run a toss reverse pass at a pivotal time? That's what you think is going to work?
Also, I think we all believe that play was built for Odell, and when Odell got hurt, they're just like, put Cooper in. He'll probably figure it out.
And he wildly overthrew the ball.
Yeah.
He doesn't even get the first down if he completes it. You just end up getting Matt Stafford lit up.
Yes, because it was a hospital ball to Stafford.
The guy that you traded everything to get to be better than
John Wolford's on the sideline, saw that pass, and he's like, all right, we're getting ready. Like, he starts stretching while the ball's in the air.
Yeah,
it's brutal.
On top of that, okay, put the 3rd down decision aside. You got this guy, Matt Stafford, so that you don't have to do weird trickeration. Like, if that's golf, I'm like, all right, you don't trust golf to complete a 3rd and 5. That's fine. But you got Matt Stafford, you got Cooper Kupp, it's 3rd and 5. If you want to run that foolishness, do it on 1st and 10. A reasonable rundown, or do it on 2nd and 6.
No.
You
know what this is like? This is like having Cluck You Pop and then bring in another Tupac impersonator. Like, you have Cluck You Pop right there for that reason. There's no point to bring in a second dude.
Yeah, you've already used the element of surprise with the original Cluck You Pop. Why then bring another surprise? Like, double surprise? Gross.
So I love that even if Matt Stafford would have gotten brutally injured there, Sean McVay would have gone onto television, been lazier than he ever has been in his life, and totally rehabbed all of his image. But in the meantime, the guy who has to figure out, like, okay, what am I in all of this, is Zach Taylor. And I just wonder, on the Bengals end of things, like, where are we now? We're in the light of day. It's Valentine's Day, Monday, February 14th. We've seen the whole Bengals news cycle finally come to a close. Like, what do we make of it? How was it a Cinderella story? Are we impressed? Alabaster is interjecting. What's going on?
I have a question, Pablo. Did you read our rundown today?
Oh, are we doing that next? We're doing that next.
We can just get to it, but yeah, that's the second question.
So, to quote Aaron Donald, I'm focused on the present right now. So, these questions really just aren't appropriate to ask me in this moment.
Well, I'm going to ask it anyway. And that is, do you expect to see Joe Burrow and the Bengals back in the Super Bowl at some point?
Oh, great question. Great question. You guys want to take this?
Yeah, so let me answer this by talking about Eli Apple, which we're going to do later on in the show as well.
I knew that was coming.
I feel like we should just mix it all up. No, I mean, like, on paper, yes, Joe Burrow is fantastic. I thought he was fine in this game until he got hurt. There's so much around Joe Burrow.
Can I go first?
Like, I'm already going, man.
I know, but I know where you're going. All right, I'm sorry for cutting you off.
Dominique is grabbing the steering wheel and the car is swerving.
I don't think you do. Where am I going? Let's see.
You're going to the sad place, the dark, sad place of this ain't gonna work. The AFC is really tough. You got lucky this year.
No.
You're a mediocre team. Your quarterback is really good. Your receiver's really good. You're blah, blah, blah. You're going to a sad place.
I'm not going to a sad place.
All right,
I'm
you
going
just
to
redirect.
That's not true.
Are we going to Cluck You?
No, I'm going to a different sad place.
Okay.
Sorry. I'm going to the historical sad place, which is like, this stuff's not guaranteed. Like, Dan Marino,
we're going Dan Marino.
makes it to the Super Bowl his second season. Never gets back. Carson Wentz and the Eagles, his second year, they make it to the Super Bowl. Carson Wentz, even though he's hurt, it's like, okay, this is going to be a dynasty. Carson Wentz gets traded, never wins a playoff game with the Eagles. He's about to get cut by the Colts, apparently, for some reason. That's how fast this can go. He's fine. He's the 20th best quarterback in the NFL. Those guys don't get cut. Why is he getting cut?
Because Jim Irsay is
Dominique?
in charge.
Okay, that's fair. Owners see things, and maybe they don't make conscious decisions or smart
I
decisions.
like how this car took a big pit stop at Carson Wentz. Keep going.
Welcome to ESPN, where Carson Wentz comes up and the train rumbles to a stop because someone pulled the emergency brake. I'm just saying that I think, I would love to see Joe Burrow back, and I think they can fix the offensive line and be a great team next year. But it is so hard to make it to a Super Bowl. I feel like, we always think that they're going to get back, but it's tough to get there.
Yeah, you took it exactly where I was thinking. I mean, I think Patrick Mahomes went back last year, but he lost, and he couldn't get back this year. I agree with you on all those things, but it just hit me as you were talking about Carson Wentz. I was thinking about who's the person who pulls the emergency train brake at ESPN to force us to talk about Carson Wentz all the time, and that person is normally Dan Orlovsky. So what a great season for Dan, because last year he tied himself to Carson Wentz. And boy, did that go bad. But this year, his good buddy, who he's truly friends with, so it's not a disingenuous
legit friend
link, but he has become the Siamese twin, or the Top Gun, the Goose, to Matthew Stafford.
He's become a Matt Stafford surrogate on television.
I've spent a lot of time with him this morning, and I got to be honest with you. I wanted to be mad at him. I wanted to give him a hard time and clown him, but I was kind of happy for him, and I hated myself for it. Like, he was so happy,
oh, you
genuinely
softy.
happy.
What a
I was
softy.
like, good for you.
Boo.
For you. Good. Yeah,
that's
you're
not
right.
the Dominique we want.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I almost cried last night when Aaron Donald won. I was getting old, man. It's tough.
Wait, hold on.
Real
For real though, you teared up. You teared up like me on an airplane watching Coach Carter. You felt vulnerable emotionally in ways you were surprised by.
As far as the team building is concerned, I think you can give the Bengals faithful some hope by pointing to the rebuilt Chiefs offensive line, the rebuilt Chargers offensive line. Like, in one offseason, it is possible with the cap space that they have and the draft picks that they have. It's possible to empty the Big Ten of all of their potential offensive linemen, because that's where you find them, and fill up your offensive line and improve them. The tough thing about it is, and we had this question this morning, we talked about who's more likely to make it back to the Super Bowl next year. And even given all the potential retirements the Rams will have, I think the Rams are more likely, because they will be a worse team than the Bengals potentially at the start of next season, but they're going to be in the NFC.
Oh, there's the take Dominique predicted that you were going to give, Bill, that he decided to give for himself.
That's fair. Pablo, can I ask you a question? What is the most embarrassing movie you've cried to on an airplane?
Oh, man. I mean,
I think it was Jackass, the second one. It's a tearjerker.
No,
well, seeing them come together is such an important moment. I mean,
when that giant hand slapped that guy, it just touched me.
Which one for you, Bill? I think that's one of those questions that you only ask because you have an answer that is the best
so
of all.
I'll very quickly say that I just cried watching Dune on Delta on the way to LA. Didn't expect that. Just some hard sci-fi getting real up in my feelings. But Bill, what do you got?
I cried several years ago to the Melissa McCarthy and Sandra Bullock vehicle, The Heat, which is a buddy cop movie. You win.
You win.
Wow.
What scene, Bill? What scene in The Heat do you recall being particularly potent?
I believe there is a sort of like adoption. There's an adoption story kind of arcing around the movie, and they get to the end, and oh boy, the tears float. I had to go into the bathroom to avoid publicly crying to this movie.
So many tiny hands demanding that we get back to the Super Bowl, but all I want is more adoption scene breakdown.
Yeah, do you guys want to talk about the new Jackass movie?
I haven't seen it yet. I do want to see it.
We should go see that together.
Yeah, it's good. I would love.
All right, fine. All right, there's so many creepy hands demanding that we get back on track here. So let me ask it very bluntly though, Bill, because Dominique said something I did not know, which is that you can just rebuild an O-line in an off season. The caveat here though is that this off season or this O-line heading into this offseason is coming off of like the worst pass blocking performance of the year. And they turned Joe Burrow into, a creature that gets eaten in a movie narrated by David Attenborough. Like it was just vicious and grotesque.
David Attenborough. He's still with us?
Agile.
Yeah, he's still with us.
I don't think he's
alive.
old. I'm sorry. I was just asking. He's not as old as 50 Cent looked yesterday, but
first
he's
you
pretty
start
old.
first you start trashing Mary, and now you're going straight up to David Attenborough. Harsh.
But Bill, on that though, like they can do this in an off season. They can fix their problems, the problems that allowed Joe Burrow to get sacked 7 times, the most.
I said it. Why you asking Bill? I already said it.
Dominique, I've learned to be suspicious of people sitting in TV studios wearing nice, crisp shirts.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you're suspicious of. That's what you're suspicious of, huh? That's what you're suspicious of.
Wow. Looking like Dracula Brian Colangelo. Yeah.
Vampire in Brooklyn, baby.
Strangely a good look for you. It really
is. That's frustrating.
I don't know why you're or how you're pulling this off.
Me and Joe Burrow, man, we look good in everything.
Oh, by the way, Joe Burrow. Oh my God, we got the experiment that we had all been hypothesizing. What does it look like when someone dresses like a freaking maniac and then loses the game? And he's walking around with his hat and his weird suit, like the horizontal zebra
Where
thing.
have you been for the last 10 years of Cam Newton? Like, someone who dresses eccentrically, I'll say, and then
with giant hats.
Yeah,
fair.
But
I would say that there are a couple of variables that you were alluding to before that are different in this particular experiment.
Yeah, it seems not you two, but the general y'all really hated when Cam Newton lost the Super Bowl in a funny outfit. But
that's right.
Somehow
the royal y'all. Yeah.
You know who I'm talking about.
I feel bad for Pablo that he's lumped in here. Pablo has plausible deniability. Thank you very much.
Amen.
Like you are actually like, no, actually, I don't like Cam. You shouldn't address that way. I appreciate that. I mean, yes, you can build an offensive line in an offseason, but like we don't know if the Bengals are good at that. Like they haven't been especially good at building the offensive line with the guys they have to begin with. So every free agent offensive lineman, like if like Brandon Scherf, if the Bengals call you, like you are upping your offer by $10 million. Like you are asking for more from the Bengals than anybody else, even if you want to play with Joe Burrow, because everybody in the NFL knows they are absolutely desperate at this point. So it's almost like you can do it, but because they're so obviously in need of them, it's going to be a problem.
I like the idea of someone calling up a plumber and the plumber being like, wait a minute, in the background, is that the sound of your toilet just like flooding your entire house? Because this is important information for how I determine the fee I'm about to charge you. Yeah.
That's just good scouting. That's just listening to your environment. Sorry, Dominic, I didn't mean to interfere.
No, you're good. I'm sorry. You guys chill out.
Go ahead.
Make sounds.
What'd you look up?
You guys be quiet so I can say something profound.
Cam
Newton, Joe Burrow, almost identical Super Bowl outfits.
No.
Really? Google it.
Cam Newton Super Bowl outfit.
I want to also point out that
Whoa!
Joe Burrow suit.
Nice. Surprisingly, only one of them had the hat, not the one you're thinking.
That's right.
That's true.
Joe Burrow showing up in the tunnels of SoFi with the hat on. I was almost impressed. Just the commitment to the bit.
I mean, he had to. You got to up it. You got to keep upping it. It's been working for you. It's one of those things that you don't. Athletes try to say they're not superstitious, but they don't like to change things. So, like, if you've been killing them in outfits, you keep killing them in them outfits. You don't know where the luck is coming from. It sure ain't coming from the talent on that offensive line. So, I will wear a crazy suit, too.
Okay, so I always wonder about soccer players. Because you know how soccer players will score a goal and they'll rip their jersey off and they have a shirt underneath with a message on it?
Yep.
There's got to be tons of instances in the past of players having stuff on T-shirts, but they never got to show it because they didn't score. So, like, I wonder, did Joe Burrow have an even more dramatic outfit ready if they won that game? Just had to go back on his fallback outfit because they lost. That's what I feel like I'm worried we missed out on.
Who cares about the game now? I just want to think about what happens to the soccer player who has, like, some important social message on their shirt.
Yes.
Do you keep wearing it until you hit a goal? Like, I'm just imagining that there is some outdated thing like bring down the wall. It's just like the Berlin Wall is a problem.
Like, wait.
Until like 01.
I love the idea that someone somewhere in like the 2012 Super Bowl was like, Coney 2012, guys, the world needs to know about this. And now, by the way, I like to think that they all get sent to like the developing countries that they send the Super Bowl hats to. Like you just send the undershirts as well.
Do you guys want to wrap it up? You want to respect the card or not?
Absolutely not.
All right, well, I'm going to take this break to ask the next question, which I hope you guys answer. That'd be nice.
Okay.
Go for it.
It'd be super nice. Do you think Kyler Murray and the Cardinals are headed for a breakup?
So what Chris Mortensen reported was so much juicier than what I was expecting, having joked about what all of this means when you unfollow someone and delete all of the mentions from them from your social media account. Because Chris Mortensen provided like a truly explosive bit of news, which is that the Cardinals believe that Kyler Murray has been lashing out, resenting the fact that so much of the blame for their playoff implosion was pinned to him, and that they think as a result that he is, quote, self-centered, immature, and a finger pointer per sources, end quote. And you never want to point that fingy.
So aren't they being finger pointers right now?
Yeah.
That's a weird thing about calling out finger pointers.
When you point, the four fingers point back at you.
I was wondering how long somebody was going to get to that awfulness. But if you are calling someone a finger pointer, aren't you then pointing the finger at them?
Wow. He who smelt it did in fact
I just
feel it.
mean, like, if you are not a finger pointer in that situation, what you do is say, I don't know what's going on. We're doing the best we can to build up a team around him. We hope we can make him happy. We hope we can win going forward.
Yes.
But instead, you're like, hey, no, he be pointing fingers at me. Like, you're doing the same.
I do love the idea that the accusation that Kyler Murray was making was, I get blamed for stuff too much. And they're like, this guy is a real finger pointer and he's a diva and he sucks. But here's the Cardinals' official statement, quote, nothing has changed regarding our opinion and high regard for Kyler Murray. We as a team and Kyler individually have improved each year he's been in the league. There's another card. We are excited to continue that improvement in 2022 and are excited that Kyler Murray is the quarterback leading us, end quote.
No, absolutely not. You're not going to fool me, Cardinals. This is the same organization that before the year they drafted Kyler Murray put out a tweet after they hired Cliff Kingsbury. Dominic knows where I'm going with this. Pablo knows where I'm going with this. Put out a tweet saying, quote unquote, Josh Rosen is our guy. And then they traded him a month and a half later. You don't get to do that. You don't get to come back and be like, oh, we're improving with Kyler. You have no credibility, Cardinals social media and PR team. Now, here's the frustrating part about all this. Yes, Kyler Murray was bad in that loss to the Rams in the postseason. He was terrible in that game. The numbers were bad. The way he looked was bad. There were opportunities he missed in that game. But the problem is, for the last 3 years, Kyler Murray's kind of been the best part about that team. And there's been plenty of moments where that offense was a mess, and Kyler Murray had to just pull something out of his butt make that opportunities happen. So, like, if you're going to blame Kyler for that playoff game, I can see why you would do that. He was bad, but you can't really act like he's been the problem with that team at any point besides that one playoff game.
Have we ever broken out the tiny football player before, or is this Alabaster being a jerk?
Yeah, this is Alabaster being a jerk.
I feel like we've never broken out the football player that the ball is too big for until we get to Kyler Murray. And then we got a huge Cliff Kingsbury, overrated offensive mind, overrated handsomeness.
Weirdly dressed like you, though, right now.
Whoa. Overrated handsomeness.
Yeah, I'm handsomer than Cliff. Don't make me go get my
Dominique
coat.
and Cliff are both wearing the same crisp white button-up, incidentally.
I'll look
Wow. You got to go on TV.
Dominique's just checking himself out for the podcast audience. That's what's happening on this
You
live
have so many
fake
opportunities
television
if you're on
show.
TV.
So, what's the ending outcome for this? Pablo, you think I'm going to ask Bill because Bill actually knows things, but nope. I want Pablo to take a shot in the dark.
I mean, if we compare Kyler Murray to the guy we keep comparing him to, which is Russell Wilson, like this is just going to exist in a very weird stasis of passive aggression for years, possibly. You know, like this is where I want both Russell Wilson and Kyler Murray to go a little James Harden. Like, say it with your chest, man.
He
Like,
didn't say it with his chest, though. Not
well,
recently, at
he
least.
said it literally by making his chest larger than it previously had been. And that is a clear declaration of trying to get out of a place in James Harden's case.
Wait, is that requesting a trade? Is that what happened?
Clearly, he no longer wants to be affiliated with G Unit. Wants out. He wants to be drafted by Death Row Records.
Yeah, much like James Harden, he doesn't love the game enough. But in this case, the game is the game.
Yeah, the rapper.
Lloyd Banks' deal too much, too expensive. They shouldn't have given him the mid-level. 100%.
So where does this go? Yeah, Dominique. What do you think?
The Russell and Kyler comparisons, like, they are both shorter and athletic quarterbacks. But Kyler was a first-round #1 overall pick. Russell was not. Russell fell into a pretty loaded team and got them to some Super Bowls early on in his career. Then he came into his own and tried to take control of the franchise in a way that they weren't interested in. It's an entirely different situation where it felt like, and Kyler, it was a #1 overall pick, and they were willing to do kind of unprecedented things in order to build around him, get him the coach who was not traditionally qualified for the job, like based on any metrics that we've used before. Like, that guy never gets the job. But the belief
metrics
was
like losing.
Yeah, like win-loss record.
Win and losses.
The metric I like to use is called success. He did not fall into that category of a successful coach. Like, he got fired from a mediocre college job and was becoming a coordinator. And then it was like, hey, you know what? Head coach it. And everything else that they have done seemed like they got rid of their first-round pick from the year before. Like, it seemed like they were building around him in a way that Seattle was not. And so for him to speak up like this right now is surprising to me and a lot of people, because it seemed like they got him the #1 overall receiver. Like, he's not constantly under pressure in Joe Burrow types of ways. He has, they went and got him AJ Green, kind of past his prime, but also another big name receiver. I'm just saying, like, those are the efforts that feel like a team cares about that quarterback, right or wrong, whether it's a good move or not. Going to get big name weapons is something that would suggest that you care about your quarterback.
Man, I could feel the steam coming off that argument as you said AJ Green's name. Like, you realize, oh, that's not the same AJ Green I know from a couple of years ago. I mean, the other difference I think that you didn't mention here, Dominique, is that, yes, both these players played baseball in the past, but Russell Wilson was not a good baseball player by professional standards. Kyler Murray was actually a really promising baseball player, a first-round pick in the Major League Baseball draft as well. And I think that sort of leverage, that possibility, is still hanging over what happens with Kyler Murray in these upcoming contract negotiations, because there is a credible case he could still go to the Major League Baseball and play at a reasonably high level pretty quickly.
Wait.
Yes.
I'm going to zoom right past my AJ Green 50-cent joke and just go to the idea that he could actually play baseball, Bill. Is that on the table, do you think, in a real way?
There is no baseball right now, so he can't play baseball.
That's true. Baseball
in a non-existent league. But I think one of the themes of the show was how valuable it is to be on TV. So if Kyler Murray believes that is still a valuable thing, then I don't really want to go play baseball.
Kyler Murray, come on, debatable is where this topic has landed.
Yes.
I mean,
do you feel like we don't use the scrubbing all mentions of blank from our social platforms enough as lay people? Like, you know, Dominique, if you scrubbed all mentions of your wife from your Instagram profile, what do you think the reaction would be?
I think it would be concern. Well, first of all, no one would notice it except for maybe her, and maybe not even her. I'm not that active on Instagram specifically, but that's a declaration of I don't know.
Oh no! If Ashley stopped posting about you, I would notice immediately. That direction is probably the better counterfactual.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, I would be concerned, but I mean, I'm not the Cardinals. I'm a much more attractive option than the Cardinals. So put me back on the street if you want to. Won't be there for long. Won't be there for long. There are no quarterbacks knocking down the Cardinals' door. Yeah, I said it. I'm more attractive than that guy too. Get him out the
I
screen,
agree.
Alabaster.
I agree. Put that on a
Oh.
chyron. Dominique Foxworth is more attractive than Cliff Kingsbury.
Hands
I
down,
believe
that's
that's
not
a-
even a question.
That's not close.
Would not be out on the street for that long, Dominique Foxworth.
I mean, if I was, it would be by choice. Like, please.
And it would be a great street, a real nice street. Alabaster, I feel like we have insulted everybody possible in this topic. So what's next?
Yes.
Alabaster got some nice hands. He wouldn't be out on the street for long either.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna play a game of what are the chances?
Is Alabaster ever going to show his face? Like, are you going to like slide your head under the camera one day? to
Yo,
give
can
the
you
people a
slide your
glimpse?
face under this, Alabaster, on Valentine's Day? Can we do that?
Maybe
Don't
not
do it.
today.
Don't do it.
Well, maybe one day when we're
Okay.
I mean,
having
Pablo's just going to look up a picture of you on his phone and hold it up to the screen. That's Pablo's favorite move.
Honestly, to be honest,
Ooh.
I thought about showing up for today's show with my laptop held upside down so I could be like 50 Cent doing the show. And it just seemed to be very difficult logistically. So just know that almost happened.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
So if you guys answer the question seriously for one full show, I'll slide my head under the camera. But until then,
Oh,
you're just getting the
it's a shame.
hands.
Never going to
First
happen.
topic.
Sad. The people won't
Yeah.
get to see you.
What are the chances Eli Apple deserved to get roasted on Twitter after the game?
Oh, we love Eli Apple on this program more than any other program, arguably, because Dominique, fellow cornerback, has preached what it really means to have the Tao of cornerbacks, right? So Eli Apple has roasted the city of New Orleans for gumbo. He has talked smack on everybody, on Tyreek Hill because he stopped him in that game, the AFC title game. But then he gets roasted by Cooper Kupp in game, and then Alabaster, do we have the montage of just the NFL? Yeah, McCole Hardman Jr. Wish he was a better corner, bro. Than the game-winning touchdown. What? Yep, got he is Tyreek Hill. Eli going to Eli is Michael Thomas. Rashad Bateman, just an Apple emoji. Period. Oh, yep. Apple pack gun hit hard in L.A. Yes, Hollywood Brown. Lamar Jackson, a photo of himself smoking a cigarette. Presumably the Eli Apple pack, to be specific. A truly like staggering coalition of dudes waiting for this specific moment.
Oh gosh, it's so messed up. I didn't know. I didn't know that the Ravens had issues with Eli Apple. Like, where does that go back to? I guess it's just in divisional beef.
Yeah, that was my guess.
It's incredible.
It
I love
is.
it so much.
I
I'm
mean,
so
he
happy.
put himself out there for this when he was going at people's necks. I personally, as a cornerback, like, I'm going to defend my man Eli Apple, who's in a tough spot at the end of that game. Had he won the Super Bowl, I don't know if he would have gone after all of them individually, but it's kind of, I mean, just lurking around to roast a guy at his lowest moment. Like, it feels kind of bad, but part of the game.
Yeah.
Pablo, what was the lesson we talked about last night on ESPN Daily that we can take away from the Super Bowl? It was that fortune favors the brave, and
God,
Eli
that's right.
Apple is the bravest dude out there.
Yep.
Eli Apple is roasting the city of New Orleans for their food.
That is a brave
That
take.
is what he is choosing. You got to be real bold and real confident for a dude who came out of college and was reportedly, said that he didn't know how to cook. That was the famous thing about Eli Apple coming out of school and why he shouldn't have been taken in the first round. That's such confidence. Dominique, as a cornerback, you have to have that kind of confidence to survive in the NFL.
You have to project that type of confidence. Who knows if you
Absolutely.
really have it or not? He definitely was projecting it.
This
but
is
it
a
didn't
key
feel like he
point
had
in
it.
what it. Yeah, this is a key point to the Tao of cornerbacks. You
Yeah.
actually just need to project it. You don't actually need to have it.
You got to project it so that when you do get lucky enough to make a play, you can be arrogant about how you knew it's going to happen all the time. Like, if last night was evidence of anything, it's evidence that the country hates cornerbacks, and poor Ramsey is playing his tiny little heart out as much as he can and getting cheated, and they won't throw a flag, and everyone's just excited about roasting him as if he was a bad football player because you all deep down inside hate cornerbacks for whatever reason. I don't know why.
Yeah, look, Jalen Ramsey, fair argument, the face mask, the T. Higgins 75-yard touchdown, all of that stuff, fair points. But the projection part of Eli Apple's post-game is lacking, Dominique. And this is where I think you would be hurt to discover that Eli Apple has not tweeted or done anything in now, since 22 hours ago, since before the game.
Maturity. I'm proud of him. Because
Wow.
he doesn't know what he's going to say right now. And I think that it's probably smart because there's no winning right now. Whatever he's feeling right now is extreme anger or extreme sadness. And you just don't tweet in those situations because you either bare your soul or you say something that you can never take back. So good for Eli, sitting quietly.
You know what needs to happen, though, Bill? You know what needs to happen next is that Eli Apple needs to come on Debatable. Rehab your image with us.
Is that going to help
Eli, Kyler Murray, and Pablo just doing that show together. And then they'll get head coaching jobs. I feel like Eli Apple had a victory party plan, like he was a political candidate, and he just did not want to have to go to that party and concede the Super Bowl. So I feel like that's why he's in hiding at this point.
He was making calls to various officials. Yeah.
I'm
Secretaries
going to
of officiating.
Oh, if you want some business inquiries, then you can holler at somebody on Eli Apple's page. But yeah, he's not doing anything right now. Yeah. Oh, he retweeted somebody 22 hours ago. I guess that's before the game.
Yeah.
Before the game.
Yeah, nothing on IG either. I think we're all there for some variation of he probably deserved it. Alabaster.
No.
Cool. So
I'm not. Speak for yourself.
Another question not answered. We'll move on.
Very good.
What are the chances Odell proved that Baker Mayfield is a trash quarterback?
0.
Well, Dominic just gets straight to the question now, just answers it, moves on.
Yeah.
That's first marker of the day. I think you could argue that Baker proved Baker is a trash quarterback before Odell ever had to prove it. So I don't know why we're getting Odell involved in this.
Yesterday was a rough day for Browns fans, but I think Baker, it's hard to blame Odell or say that Odell proved it. Like, Baker was bad this year. I remember after they traded Odell, Baker put up some good numbers in the following game, and there was a big party around the Baker stands in Cleveland about how they got rid of – was that against Cincinnati? Or was it Cincinnati that he got hurt? I don't know. It doesn't matter, but I remember
Was it the one where he lives at the stadium? Was it that one?
Those are prime Baker.
They're so good. I imagine he was watching the Super Bowl last night, Baker Mayfield, and watching his career as the next Peyton Manning, pitchman, not quarterback, just evaporate.
No, it'll never. He's already proven that he can sell insurance. Progressive is doing numbers.
Progressive, they make soup and they get insurance as well. Do you think Kanye West got the idea to live at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta from those Baker Mayfield commercials?
Oh,
I think everything.
Absolutely.
Everyone got every idea from Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield was the originator of all things creative ever since he got to the NFL.
Dances.
Baker Mayfield is the best quarterback in football.
Dances, running from the cops, allegedly, all stuff that he pioneered on record.
Playing while you are very, very injured.
playing while you're broken.
Yeah, playing while you're broken. And also breaking your team's chances. Oh, man. Jimmy Garoppolo to the Cleveland Browns. That's what I need.
Wow.
I need that to be the most aggressively mid quarterback competition in the history of football. I just want those two guys to mediocre it out.
The rare aspirational Garoppolo. You don't see that very often. I'm impressed.
Quality take right there.
Take Smith crafting a take right there. The aspirational
What do you call that?
Garoppolo.
Do you call that a quarterback competition? Or is there some other word for what will be taking place throughout training camp when Jimmy Garoppolo shows up there? It's Baker versus Jimmy to be the starting quarterback. That is called a quarterback
walk-off. Both down a runway. You better get your poses on, guys. Get your poses on.
I mean, in Baker's defense, I don't think he's ever done anything as ugly as Jimmy Garoppolo's interception to end the game against the Rams. It was Aaron Donald in his face, but he did a backwards toss. He had a eyes closed interception in the Super Bowl. It was rough.
Alabaster, with the quickness, has thrown down an interjection card.
Yeah.
So what's up?
So hilariously bad quarterback plays. I don't know if even Jimmy Garoppolo's lateral underhand thing can be as funny as Baker Mayfield high stepping on that 4-yard run.
Oh,
That is the funniest bad quarterback highlight since the
I
butt.
forgot about that.
Yeah.
It was
how you
because
win.
it made it even worse because he was feeling good. He was like, watch out this, ha 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 ha. And then we all watched it like, nah, that ain't it.
Damn, that is how you win a
That's
walk-off, though. Get those thighs up.
Let me
Yeah,
Google
that's it.
that. I
That's
miss it.
that's the that ain't it competition. Baker Mayfield versus Jimmy Garoppolo.
Baker Mayfield high step.
Can I would like to credit the was it a Browns fan who made the video of Odell being always open that started this?
It was a Browns fan,
What-
and it was
wasn't it-
amplified by his dad.
Yep.
Yeah. So Odell's dad did not make the video.
No.
Oh, because I was gonna hire Odell's dad to do some video editing for me. So I feel like I regret that purchase now.
Oh man.
Kyler Murray's interested in hiring Odell's dad's services.
Remember when
Yeah.
Kyler Murray is the Hezzy King. I'm just comparing Kyler Murray to Baker Mayfield in the open field. As
Yep.
two Heisman Trophy winning
lot of twitching.
first number one
From
overall quarterbacks
Mhm.
from Oklahoma. One of them, their team, well, I guess both of them, their team is upset with them for different reasons. Maybe they should do a wife swap. You know, like a good old-fashioned QB swap.
Yeah, I like that.
I think one of these teams will be much happier than the other.
I'm pretty sure the Browns would love some finger pointing in their locker room. They'd be so happy if they added some finger pointers.
Browns are going to put a baseball diamond in their locker room for Kyler to play on if he gets Kyler to Cleveland.
A full-size baseball diamond, Alabaster, you jerk.
You took the
you
words
jerk.
out of my mouth. I was going to call it a tiny, tiny diamond.
Yeah,
All right, so
I
we
know.
have one
I know you.
one bonus topic before we go. And that is we put out a poll. Who's more attractive, Dominique Foxworth or Cliff Kingsbury? And Dominique, you annihilated Cliff.
Yeah. I mean, that was a waste of time poll. All the ones and zeros you just wasted to find out the answer to a question that we all knew the answer to because we got eyes.
That's how the internet works? Just wasting ones and zeros?
Yeah.
Dominique just trashing our viewership as ones and zeros when they're all tens to me. Insulting.
It's not the viewers. It's the code that was used to make that.
I have truly loved doing this show, and we're being played off like we're giving a way too long Oscar speech by Alabaster. He's unilaterally decided to throw the countdown down. He is sick of us.
Just good.
Visibly, audibly
sick.
over.
I mean,
our
really,
combination.
Why don't you just go ask, is the sun hot? Like, don't waste your time with silly questions. You got a couple people with ironic answers, but like, of course the sun is hot.
Ask, is Cluck You Pac at Cluck You? Of course he is. That's his identity. That's
Where
what
else
he does.
would he be? Does he have bars?
On campus.
Yeah, that's fair.
On campus taking classes for 2 weeks.
No. It's only the beginning of the semester. Get him 50. What are you, 35? What is your number? You're not 50.
How dare you?
I'm so sorry to our viewers.